So my job today is to go ahead and repot this little Oncidium twinkle. It's actually a division off of a larger plant, and it was potted in mostly sphagnum moss. It looks like a little bit of bark in there, but it's really not enough for this particular type of orchid. It stays so wet that I've been pulling a lot of moldy leaves off of this. So even though it was only potted into here about 3 weeks ago, I'm going to go ahead and redo it and put it in the medium it really should have been in, which is a mostly bark medium. So, whoops, excuse the cat here. Thank you for your help, but we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I pot an Oncidium. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm going to be using today. This is premium fine grade fir bark, and it's an orchid mix, an orchid bark. And I've actually soaked it overnight, so it's already really well moistened. If you don't do that, it really takes several watering sessions before it will start to hold and retain moisture. And I don't want to do that, so I've gone ahead and pre-soaked it, so it's sort of ready to go. In here, what I have is I have some charcoal. I've broken it up kind of into some smaller bits. I probably should break it into even smaller than that, but that will help for a little bit of aeration and mostly just for, odor control. And then this is perlite, which also helps with the aeration of the orchid medium. And I'd also add a little bit of New Zealand sphagnum moss, but since this is only 3 weeks old, I'm going to go ahead and use what's in here, although normally I would never reuse any medium that already came in. So we're going to go ahead and get started then. So I'm going to make my mix right in here, and I want lots of bark. It's going to be a mostly bark setup here. Add a little bit of this charcoal. A little bit of the perlite. So it kind of looks a little bit like that. It's really not hard to mix your own stuff. It's pretty easy. You can get it all in one kit, but I pretty much like to get my own. And I use all EB Stone Organics. I guess maybe it doesn't really matter, but that's the brand I like. I like the size of the long strand sphagnum moss. I can cut up some of the pieces and make it smaller as I like, or I can leave it long. I usually like it longer on the top and smaller inside the medium. So I'm going to break some of that up. And what that does is just help to hold a little extra of the moisture. You want your orchid medium to have a little bit, but not so much that it can't dry out, because orchids do, most of them like to dry out a little bit in between the waterings. They're not really inside soil or anything out in the wild. They're sort of exposed out on the trees. So that's pretty much what our filling our orchid bark is going to look like. We're going to go ahead and get ready to plant up our tree. So I've gone ahead and sanitized and cleaned out the pot. Even though it was recently done, I just did it anyway. And I've taken out the plant, and I've already found another completely molded over young pseudobulb just trying to grow, and had to pull that out. So I'm a little sad about that. And the roots are just really not looking very happy. They're not really very green. And I'm trying to be a little bit delicate here, so you can kind of see where it was starting to mold all around here. So hopefully this will be better for it. So we're going to go ahead and get some of this bark down here. Kind of don't want as much of the moss on the bottom. I want to make some good drainage. I would prefer to have some packing peanuts down there, but I don't have any, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some straight bark down there. And I'm going to sort of get some of this, more of this in here. let's see. There we go. Let's get some more of this down in here. What you're going to do is just sort of pack around. I'm trying to be really gentle because this thing is already distressed enough. I don't want to make it too bad here. Sorry for the outside noise. Let's get some of this bark in here. And I'm just going to gently start getting this set up before I start packing it too much. And now I'm going to just sort of start packing it down in there a little bit. Really hoping that it'll be happier. It certainly was not happy the way it was. As things were going, I don't think it was going to last too long. So weighing the odds between just repotting it and leaving it, I think this was a better shot. Careful of the brand new little bulb down there that's trying to make it. So there we go. And once this sort of dries out the bulbs a little bit and okay, get in the window. I'm probably going to try to put a little bit of, maybe just a little bit of moss around the top, but not right now. It really needs to just work on drying out a little and getting healthy. But I might put a topper on it later of moss just to help hold some of that in. But that is how I would pot an Oncidium. So hopefully that'll be okay.